What's going on, Genius Nation? Welcome to a brand new day, a day that you've never seen before, a day that you will never see again. Welcome to the Daily Genius. I am Dr. Will, and as always, super excited that you are here with us on this journey. If you've been following us, you know that we are doing 365 videos. This is episode number 98. So thank you for being a part of the journey. Today, I want to talk to you about giving yourself time to win. Giving yourself time to win. You know, I work with entrepreneurs all throughout the year. And one of the things that always comes up as an obstacle is this idea of winning now. Like, I have to win now. It has to happen now. And one of the things I work with my clients on is giving themselves time to win. And we do that by just going through a series of questions. When I start coaching with someone, I'll ask them, what do they want to achieve? What do you want to achieve out of this coaching experience? And they'll say, let's just use money. Let's just use money to make it real simple. Let's say they tell me they want to earn $1 million. And I'll ask them, I say, okay, when do you want to earn that? And they'll say, I want to earn it this year. I'll ask them, okay, have you ever earned $1 million before in 1 year? Many times the answer is no. And so let's just say the coaching client is 40 years old. Let's say the coaching client is 40 years old. So I say, okay, so in 40 years, you've never earned $1 million. And all of a sudden, in 1 year, you haven't been able to do it in 40 years. And let's just take 20 of those years as your working years. So in 20 working years, you haven't done it. And now all of a sudden in 1 year, you want to do it, right? That creates a whole lot of stress. That creates a whole lot of pressure. And so I asked them, I say, what if it would take you 5 years? Would that be horrible? If it would take you 5 years to earn $1 million in 1 year, like if we put a framework together, and in this framework was a 5-year framework. And at the end of this framework, at the end of us doing what we needed to do, putting everything in place that we needed to be put in place, and then in that 5th year, you earned $1 million. Would that be so bad? And usually they say, no, not really. It wouldn't be that bad. Why wouldn't it be that bad? Why? Because you've already went 40 years. Another 5 years is not going to be that significantly different. And you're already eating, you're already maintaining life, you already have your quality of life, right? And so by us adding this time, giving yourself time to win, by adding this time, there's no pressure. Because now we can start looking at, inside that 5-year time frame, we have 4 quarters in every year, right? We have 4 quarters in every year. And so within that 5-year time frame, I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I have 20 now quarters to make this happen. And so now we can reverse engineer. We now have our goal. Our goal is to be able to earn $1 million a year. That's our goal, to be able to put something in place that's going to earn us $1 million a year, $500,000 a year, $200,000 a year. But now that we have the goal, we can now reverse engineer. And we can look at these 20 quarters that we have and start asking ourselves, okay, this quarter right now, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? We need to use this quarter, this 90 days, to get crystal clear. We need to get crystal clear on our path. Need to get crystal clear on the products we're going to offer, the services we're going to offer, how we're going to offer them, how we're going to deliver them, how we're going to attract our ideal client. That's what we're going to invest that first 90 days in, getting all that together. Next 90 days, next quarter, we're going to work on our systems. We're going to work on our systems, getting all of our systems put in place, right? We're going to get all our systems put in place. Then that third quarter, now we're going to start looking at team members maybe that we need to add, or outside help, VAs. What team members and what systems do we need to put in place, delegation-wise, automation-wise, that's going to help us, right? And so now when we begin to look at that first year, we've accomplished so much within that. We got our clarity, we got our systems. We're now starting to work on our teams. Going into that fourth quarter, now we start working on attracting the right client. And that may take a little bit, right? And so, boom, that next 90 days, we're looking at attracting our right client. So we're looking at our messaging and all that kind of stuff. Then going into that fifth quarter, which will be that second year, now we're refining that message to that ideal client. We're refining our system as it relates to distribution, how we're delivering on it. And then we're always improving every quarter. But you can see how, because I'm giving myself time to win and I'm giving myself time to work on each and every one of these aspects of business, I'm going to have a better solid foundation. Because I've seen entrepreneurs go out there, and you can, like, if you go out there and grind, hustle, right, and almost kill yourself, you can produce high six figures and even $1 million, but it won't be sustainable. And so you'll end up crashing and burning. So let me share this with you. When you learn how to give yourself time to win, let me use me as an example. So I have a goal of being Compton's first billionaire. I want to be Compton's first billionaire, right? This is a goal of mine. It's a fun goal for me. I'm not going to say it won't drastically change my life. If you're a billionaire, it will change your life. But it won't change how I feel about myself. Does that make sense? If I do it before I die, great. If I don't do it, I'm not going to be on my deathbed feeling like I'm not accomplished, right? But I want you to just see how my mind works and how I framework this. So I've given myself until the day I die to accomplish this goal. But to framework it, I've given myself 25 years. I've given myself 25 years to accomplish this goal, right? Giving myself 25 years. Now, I want you to look at this. Number one, I have a philosophy that you should have big, audacious goal. I call it your bag. You should have a big, audacious goal. So this is my big, audacious goal. I think everybody should have a big, audacious goal. But I think your goals should be so big that even if you don't achieve it, the pursuit of it will allow you to achieve so much. So let me give you an example. So the goal is $1 billion, but let's look at this. If I failed by 90%, I would have earned $100 million. I want you to think about this. If I failed by 90%, so my pursuit, right? My pursuit of the billion, if I failed by 90%, I would still have earned, right, $100 million. If I failed by 90%, I want you to think about that. If I failed by 90%, I would still end up in the top 0.5 earners, all-time earners in the world. If I failed by 90%, my family will still be taken care of. My grandchildren will still be taken care of. My great-grandchildren will still be taken care of, right? Whereas if the goal was only $1 million and I failed by 90%, you see where I'm going with that? So 2 things here. I'm giving myself time to win, So I don't have any pressure. I can enjoy the journey. I have 25 years. And so for me, the journey looks like, okay, finding different pathways. I know that on this journey, at some point, I'll have to take a portion of my money and find some unique investments that I can leverage that will propel me, right? That will take 20 million and take 20 million and make it into 100 million. I know from that 100 million, I'll have to take 40 million and find something to leverage it that will turn it into 150. I understand that. I understand from the way, right? Because this is something I study all the time. And so the amount of income you will earn is in proportion to how many people you serve. Right? So I just want you to think about that. If you want to earn a whole lot, you got to be thinking about serving a lot of people. Think about McDonald's. What do they say? We served 1 billion people daily. They're serving 1 billion people daily. Think about Bill Gates with Microsoft. What was his goal? His goal was that a computer would be in every home. Think about that. How many homes are there around the world? And that was his goal. That was his goal, that a computer would be in every home. And so if you start looking at the amount of people that you're serving, you can almost estimate, right, what your earnings are going to be. And so I know, particularly for me, what I do, I know how many people I can serve, the capacity I have to serve. So I know I will have to connect with other companies that serve at a larger scale. So I'll have to invest in other companies that are serving at a larger scale. Does that make sense? So I'm going to earn what I can earn, but to leverage what I earn, I'm going to have to partner with, I'm going to have to invest with other companies. Let's just, as an example, say a tech company that has an idea, has a product that's going to get to 1 billion people. And I'll get in on a Series A, investment, a round of investment with that, and I'll invest. And then hopefully that company does an IPO, initial public offering. That company goes public. And then from there, my investment of $5 million, $10 million turns into $60 million, turns into $70 million. Does that make sense? But because I have time, right? I have time to think about all of this, to educate myself on all of this. So I want you to think about yourself. Are you giving yourself time to win? Time to win. And so I want you to really look at your goals and kind of look at those time frames that you gave yourself. And I know people talk about, the difference between unrealistic goals and realistic goals and things like that. That's not what I'm on. I'm on enjoying the journey. See, a goal is something you created. So why would you create something that's going to stress you out? I want you to think about that. Why you created the goal? Nobody gave you the goal. Whatever your goal is, nobody came to you and said, this has to be your goal. Nobody came to me and said, Dr. Will, you gotta earn $1 billion. This is my goal. So why would I create something that would stress me out? You understand what I'm saying? Why would I create something that would stress me out? So I want you to think about your goals. I want you to think about the time frames that you've given yourself goals, and if you've really given yourself enough time to win. All right, that's what I have for you today, nation. Go out there and have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Be your brilliant genius self, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow morning for the Daily Genius.